Millennials are expected to account for 3/4 of the workforce by 2025. That's right around the corner, and that's according to the Pew Research Center. So what does this mean for future purchasing power? I'm Kalilah Reynolds, and it's time for another episode of Money Moves, JA, brought to you in partnership with Exim Bank's Business Advisory Service, giving you the tools to grow your business. My guest today is former president of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, JMEA, Metry Seaga. Welcome to Money Moves, Metry. Great to have you.
Thanks very much for having me, Kalilah.
We're talking about something that you're an expert at because I know you're right in this generation, millennials, right?
I wish.
But actually, the baby boomer generation just above mine, well, I think there's Generation X, then baby boomers.
I get lost with all of them right now, to be honest with you. But yes, let's not say where I am, but let's go ahead.
The boomers are retiring, and they represented one of the largest generations because of the way the name implies, baby boomers. A lot of them were born around the same time. They're retiring, and now people my age, the millennials, are really becoming the majority of the workforce. So why is it important to really start targeting and marketing to millennials in this day and age?
Well, it's important because they are your new market, and things have changed so rapidly. We were just talking about it off air. The telephone, the cell phone has made such an amazing transformation in how quickly we have progressed as people. That in and of itself changes how business is done. It changes how, just to give you a quick example is 3 years ago, none of us would go to Zoom meetings or anything of that nature. And 3 years later, it's all we're doing now, right? Yeah. So the culture changes very quickly. And if we don't recognize that as baby boomers, near baby boomers who are now coming out of business and leaving our businesses and our companies to millennials, if we don't realize that soon enough, and if we don't do that soon enough and start to make the changes in our business, then we're going to be obsolete. I'll never forget in university a teacher saying to me, a professor saying to me that 90% of the companies on the Fortune 500 were no longer in business 20 years later. And I wondered why. And I've now come to realize that the question that you just asked is the answer. Because people did not make the transitions early enough in their businesses. And they didn't recognize that things are just not how they used to be.
So how do you make that transition?
Well, the first thing is you have to have an open mind. And I think we've come to realize that in business. If you are not flexible, the buzzword now is pivot. If you can't pivot quickly, if you can't make the changes in your business quickly, you are going to die, or you're certainly going to be hurt. So the first and most important thing that I would say to people is to be able to have an open mind and to start to realize that we have always done it this way. No longer can be a buzzword. It can't be a buzz phrase. We cannot think that because we've done it this way, we're going to continue to do it this way, and things are going to happen just the same. So I would think to start with, we have to change our mindset. I think the other things we have to do is start to get millennials in positions of power within our organizations. We have to start promoting people, hiring people who understand the culture of our customers much better than we as baby boomers do.
And that can be difficult, can't it? Because older people often feel like you're old and which is true to some extent. With age comes wisdom as well and experience.
It's true.
So how hard is it to let go the reins to somebody younger?
You're asking me, I understand, and it's not that difficult for me, but I understand that it is difficult for some people. I do understand that people hold their businesses like it's their baby and it's their child. And I've seen it happen too many times to people where they hold on so tight that they're the only ones that can do everything in the company. And they reach 75 and 80 years old, and they keep going down to a business that's dying and has been dying for 10 years. And then the business peters out to nothing. So even where in my company that we were able to go public a couple of months ago.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much. And that was, to me, the start of us letting go the reins. It wasn't easy. Before you answer to yourself, now you answer to your 2,000 shareholders. So it is important to start that process early enough when you're a younger baby boomer or an earlier baby boomer like myself, that you don't wait until you're hardened in the position.
So do you have your TikTok account yet?
Yes, I was just listening to it while I was waiting on you. I do, and my kids tease me about it because I just go on it for entertainment every now and again.
Yeah, it's very entertaining but also educational. There's a nice mix on there.
It is, and when I go through it and I see people saying that they're making 6 figures out of TikTok, by showing off brands and clothes and things like that, I realize those are the things that makes me realize that I just don't understand that market segment. I don't understand that way of doing business. My youngest son is 25, and I'll say to him, write it down, write the things down. And he'll pick up his phone, and I says, where's a pen and a paper? Write it down. He said, we don't write things anymore, we type them.
We take notes on our phones, yes.
These are the little differences that add up to being big differences that change the way we do business. So, I think that we have to change our mindset, and we have to get people of the age that understand the target audience and the markets and put them in positions of power.
That's such a good point, because TikTok is so new to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I read that millennials are now the #1 demographic on TikTok.
Is that so?
When I was starting TikTok, I had to hire my teenage daughter as a consultant, a TikTok consultant, because it seemed so young, but it has aged up into the millennial demographic.
And listen, you can use any of these platforms on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, all of them. You can use them for entertainment, you can use them for bad, and you can use them for good. And many people are using them to make a lot of money and to help to build and sustain their brands.
Is there a particular type of business you think millennials, or business or product that millennials gravitate towards?
I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but I think they gravitate to things that are easier and that are faster. As you know, I'm in the business of manufacturing, and I love it because of the fact that you create something, you add value, which I think are important factors. The way we're going to add value may change in the future. It may be through our minds, it may be through our content, it may be through other things. But I think as a country, if we are going to progress, and if we're going to be meaningful and play a meaningful role economically in the world, then we're going to have to continue to add value. So whether that is through manufacturing or content creation or some other form, I hope that we will continue to operate in that space.
So finally, what's your advice to businesses who are stuck in those ways and are hard pressed to really change?
I would say to people who have run their business all their lives themselves and they're getting older now, that you have worked too hard and for too long to just watch this thing die out at the end. This attitude of holding on to something until if you can't have it, nobody else can have it, it's really silly, it's short-sighted. And the advice that I have after just going public is, if you can, take your business on the stock exchange, get new owners in, get new management in, get younger management in, who can really allow your business the continuity that it needs. After you're gone, none of us are here forever.
Thank you so much, Metry. Great advice.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
All right.
And here's a recap of Metry's key points. Millennials are the new market. Get millennials in positions of power in your company as they understand the current market. Holding on to a company's old practices will have the business die out sooner rather than later. List your company on the Jamaica Stock Exchange and get new and younger management.
That's it for this episode of Money Moves JA, brought to you in partnership with Exim Bank's Business Advisory Service, giving you the tools to grow your business. Visit their website at eximbankja.com and visit my website at KalilahReynolds.com for a summary of this episode. I'm Kalilah Reynolds. Until next time.